And good for you for like digging into this guy's past and everything. The more you find out about this owner, give Celtics fans a little bit of how they should be feeling about this in the future of the franchise, in your opinion.
I think they should be pretty excited. The one part I think that he might struggle with the most is just the spotlight. He's been out of the spotlight forever. His teammates, his coach, they said like he never sought the spotlight. That's not something that he'll be used to. Obviously, it's going to be a totally different experience for him as the new Celtics owner. But everything they said about him, he was a great teammate, just a selfless guy, cares about all the team oriented stuff that the Celtics have kind of been built on. And from what it sounds like, I don't think he's going to try to change much, which I think the Celtics would want, and I think Celtics fans would want for the team. That he's going to basically, trust in their culture, believe in their culture, and want to continue things going the way they have
So
lately.
you really think he's up for signing and writing checks for that huge tax bill they have coming up?
That's going to be, obviously it's a tough time to come into the Celtics because I mean by the time he takes over, they might be two-time defending champions, and you've got to come in and make decisions about what to do with the roster. Do you pay $500 million in luxury tax and salary, or do you make significant changes to a team that's just won back-to-back titles, or come close to it probably? So it's not an easy time to do it. I don't know what he will do, but I do suspect that he has a plan and how to approach it. Not necessarily like who to go after, who they should get, whatever, but like a number he's willing to get to, and that this like he's not going to go into it blind and be surprised by the situation they're in. He knows all about it, and he's got some time to plan for what they're doing this summer.
Well, let's be honest. Is there any owner in the NBA that would pay that tax and apron? Like, is
Probably
there?
not,
Yeah. So, like,
honestly.
so it's in my opinion, it's unfair if this guy comes in and does what you would do, what I would do, what anyone. I wouldn't pay it. Like, I'm not naive enough to think I'd pay that. Do you? What I'm trying to say is that it will be unfair of Celtics fans if this guy takes over the team and has to make changes based on that luxury tax, and people go, "Oh, look at this cheap owner." Like, I don't think there's an owner in the NBA that would do that.
Yeah, and it's not necessarily that he's a cheap owner if he's doing that.
No,
They're going to be paying a lot in luxury tax no matter
exactly.
what. Like,
Yeah, but it's getting to the point where it's absurd. Like that you can't. I wouldn't. I can't imagine a world where I would do it.
No.
What about Wyc Grousbeck and how long does he get to pretend to be in charge?
so the current arrangement has him staying on through, I believe, the 2027-28 season. And in the press release or whatever, they said that he would stay on as, I believe it said CEO and governor. And so obviously that's going to be an interesting situation because we saw a similar thing happen in Dallas where Mark Cuban sold the franchise, thought he was going to stay on as the leader of basketball operations. And then a year and a half, 2 years later, they traded Luka Doncic without his blessing. And so obviously he fell out of power there quickly. They didn't kind of stick to the plan that he thought they were going to. And
But he owned the team even. Like Wyc Grousbeck, as it turns out, didn't even own really the team. Why, in your opinion, why does he want to hang around after someone else buys it?
I would want to hang around, right?
I don't know. Like, I don't want to be a figurehead. I mean,
Well, Jay,
the rug kind of got pulled out from under him a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
And I would say this too, Jay. If there are going to be some really unpopular decisions made based on the salaries and the taxes and everything, that if I were the new owner, I would say to Wyc or anyone else who really wanted to stay around, it's like, okay, get out there and tell everybody.
Oh,
and,
sure.
And don't you dare say this wasn't your decision. You're in charge of this team still, at least in name. So go out there and face the firing squad, because there's almost certainly going to be some really difficult announcements that are going to have to be made here over the next year or two.
Yeah, and part of the difficulty of that depends on what they're able to do. If they go out there and they have to just straight salary dump one of their starters, then yeah, it's going to look really bad. But if you're able to get creative and go out and find helpful pieces while cutting salary and still maintaining a great supporting cast around Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, then yeah, it's the messaging will look a little different. So I think part of it too is going to be on Brad Stevens and his front office to deal with the constraints and the limitations that they have financially to go out there and get something done to keep a great roster around these guys.
It's going to be really tough for them to get equal value if they try and sell off some of these parts. Like, for instance, Drew Holiday, Porzingis has hurt a lot, as good as he is, and what he means to this team when he's healthy. I don't know if you can get equal value back for either one of those guys. All I'm saying is I guess I'm falling in line with the rest of this narrative, which is it's impossible to keep this the way it is, even with trades. I mean, I think, Jay, didn't we all realize the way the contracts are structured that we're going to have to get rid of Porzingis after next season anyway?
Well, I don't know about that, but I do know, like, no matter what, even if you keep this group together, it's going to be impossible to keep it the same as it is because Drew Holiday is getting older. Al Horford is 38, going to be 39 soon. How much longer can he realistically play at this high a level? So even if you keep everybody together, it's not necessarily going to look the same a year from now, 2 years from now. So I think, to some extent, making some changes. I'm not saying they're going to get better from making changes, but to some extent, if you can go out and get a little younger, a little more athletic, if you do get rid of Porzingis, say, get somebody who's more available, then there are ways that you could benefit from shaking up this roster. But I'm with you, like, talent-wise, they're not going to be the same as they are this year if they do have to make significant changes, and I suspect they will because the number in luxury tax and salary that they're looking at is pretty much untenable.
All right. Well, look, Jay King, read all about it in The Athletic. He does a deep dive into this new owner's life. It's pretty interesting. Jay, thank you for the time, sir.
If you like that clip, check out more videos from Toucher and Hardy here. For more Celtics analysis and opinion, hit this playlist. And for all the latest from the Sports Hub, download the app at 985thesportshub.com.